Minasan konnichiwa, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. You might be thinking, oh, am I a father already? No, I'm not, but hopefully in some distant future. But if I'm not a parent, what do I know about parenting, right? Well, I was once a child, I was parented, so I kinda know what it's like on the receiving end. And when it comes to parenting, I think we can learn a lot from God of War. So yeah, let's talk about it and cut the bullshit. At some point in the game, Kratos reveals to his son Atreus about the fact that he's actually a god and that he killed gods before. Atreus then asks,
"You only killed those deserving, right?"
To which he answers,
"Yes."
Which we all know is not true, and it pretty much became a meme at this point. But eventually, at the end of the game, Kratos opens up and finally says the truth.
"I killed many who were deserving. And many who were not."
In the real world, some parents intentionally or unintentionally project a perfect image to their children, showing that they are these flawless beings that never make any mistakes. Which as an adult, you know it's not true, because nobody's perfect. But as a child, you don't know that. So this creates a huge problem because children will have this unrealistic expectation that they also have to be perfect, just like their parents. This creates multiple problems at the same time, like the lack of communication because the kid will not be open to share anything that may disappoint their parents. And it adds unnecessary stress that doesn't add any value to the child's development. And eventually, children may end up resenting their parents when they grow up, realizing that their parents were complete hypocrites because they weren't perfect themselves. The best way to go about this is just to act like a normal human being. As a parent, you're not always right, and you're not always wrong, and that's okay. It's okay to show your flaws to your children. At some point in the game, they meet this huge creature called the World Serpent. And for anyone who never played the game before, you would straight up assume that this is the beginning of a boss fight. But then Atreus is like, oh, this is great. He's friendly, by the way. If Kratos had this mentality of, oh, I'm older, so I know better, he would have just killed a completely harmless creature that happens to look dangerous. One of the lessons here is similar to the first one, and that it's okay to show that you're a flawed person and that you don't know everything in life, but also, there is a difference between calling your children smart and actually believing that they're smart. If you have a problem as a parent, it's okay to seek help from your child and ask for their opinion. And if you decide to listen to them and take their advice seriously, that is when you prove to them that you truly believe that they're smart. Telling them that they're smart over and over is better than nothing, but actions speak louder than words. So even if you keep telling them that they're smart, eventually they will start to see through the empty compliments if you don't really believe in that. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, if you want your children to believe in themselves, show them that you believe in them, instead of just telling them. Throughout the game, Atreus was constantly asking so many questions, and honestly, although Kratos seems to be annoyed and grumpy most of the time, he's doing a great job answering patiently given his anger management problems. I think that is the correct way to go about it. Children should be encouraged to ask questions. They should feel welcome to ask every stupid question they have. Because if you make them feel that you're annoyed or make them feel stupid for asking such questions, they won't ask anymore. And they will seek answers elsewhere. And if you set up this barrier at a very young age, guess what? They will never seek your opinion once they become adults. That's because whatever you do to your children when they're young, it tends to stick with them when they grow up. So I guess the lesson here is, it's okay if your children are annoying. It's okay if they're asking silly questions. They're just curious, and that's part of the process. Embrace it, encourage it, and be patient. As you play through God of War, you will face a dragon, which is the biggest boss fight in the game. During this boss fight, Kratos asks Atreus to lower the crane on his mark. But Atreus is like, oh, I don't know how to do it. And then Kratos is like, I don't care, just do it. Eventually, Kratos gives his signal, and Atreus just decided to simply shoot the rope that's holding the crane instead of figuring out how it works. I'm sure Kratos would have been able to kill the dragon without any help from Atreus, but But yeah, whether it was intentional or not, Kratos kept Atreus on his toes and forced him to come up with a solution on his own. In the previous points, I focused on what parents shouldn't do, but in this one, it is something that parents should do. I guess the lesson here is that it's okay to challenge your children. Not all the time, but occasionally, throwing them a curveball will help them develop their skills to become more independent. Some parents may try to do everything for the children, spoon feeding them to make things easier or to make them more comfortable. And they would go to justify it by saying, oh, I'm protecting my children. But actually, that makes them overly dependent on the parents. And eventually, you will have grown-ass adults who cannot make any decision without involving their parents. And that's something we all want to avoid. Within the game itself, you can see Kratos changing and developing as a parent. And the lesson here is that just because you're a parent, it doesn't mean you're a good parent. You don't just have kids and expect everything to just work out perfectly. You have to put effort into changing yourself and improving as a parent over time. A lot of parents are like, oh, as long as I'm providing, I'm a good parent. And it doesn't go anything beyond that. It doesn't improve. How about once you're done providing the basics, start working on building an emotional relationship with them. Start spending quality time with them. Build a deeper relationship with them. Or anything that you can do better as a parent. The key is to always ask yourself, how can I improve as a parent? And before ending the video, I want to say that I know that Kratos is a fictional character, but still, it is a very relatable representation of parenting in real life. And I think we can learn a lot from his journey as a father. Being a parent is a responsibility. No one is born with a manual on how to be a perfect parent. So the best thing you can do is at least try to be a good one. And as the wise, mysterious person once said, the greatest gift you can give to your children is not perfection, but showing them how gracefully you handle your own imperfections. If you found this video to be useful or at least entertaining, I think you should check out my other video where I talk about how to use gaming to be more productive, which should be on the screen right now, otherwise it means I'm working on it and it should appear on the screen as soon as possible. But anyway, until next time, Jenny, bye bye.